Welcome, 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 everyone. Everyone, I want to just introduce myself to you. I'm Grandmaster Anthony Muhammad, and you've just logged on to Walking with the Master. And I want you to know that this is our first podcast that we are going to take this journey down memory lane, and this journey down memory lane is going to now bring you face front, front and center with a tremendous master. He is an ultimate grandmaster. He is Soke Little John Davis. Welcome, Soke.
Thank you for having me.
Man. It's something to have your teacher on in front of you, and you're interviewing him when you're used to being thrown all over the place by him.
But I strange. Yeah, not touching you yet.
Yeah, well, this is definitely a blessing, and I'm very, very happy and thankful to have you on here because it is far too long that those who have not known you or think that they know you get an opportunity to really get close to you and hear from you, face to face like this. So without any further ado, I want to get started and begin to ask you some questions and to just inspire you to go ahead down whatever stream of thought you'd like to take. But it's open right now. The highway is yours, and we're going to enjoy this trip down this lane. So now, Soke, I've known you for a lot of years, since I was a little boy, and you were already a giant in the art, and you were traveling all over the country and whatnot. I don't want to start there. I just want you to start where I am at that point, and I was a brand new individual. And now, when you first started, you started with another instructor before Dr. Musa Muhammad, Dr. Moses Powell. You started prior to that. Could you tell me a little bit about that beginning and who that instructor was and what it was like?
Sure. First of all, when I got started, I was in foster care from 5 or 6 to 18. And down the street from where I was living, we had a church, John Wesley Church. That's in Brooklyn on Quincy and Nostrand. And I found it had a karate class. I used to be bullied on, and I was like, I got to get into something, So my allowance was $2 a month that they gave us for allowance. I went to the church. There are 2 instructors. One name was Gus. His name, we call him Buster. And we had another guy named Vincent. So I found out, and they said, so I asked how much was class, and it's so funny, it was $2 a month.
Wow.
So you know where my allowance went. My allowance went right directly there. And long story short, I got into it. It was rough. The Shotokan karate I did for 2 years. And we trained, and this guy named Vincent, he's from Panama. Now, I know nothing about the martial arts. I'm young, small, and everything. And we working out. We're doing some of the basic stuff. I know nothing about no fighting. So he goes right away, I'm going to teach you how to spar. I said, okay. So he told me to take care of myself the best I can. What I know, I'm a little, 6 years, 7 years old. So I never figured he kicked me in the mouth, I don't know if it's an accident or purpose, So I went home, my lip all swelled up. My foster mother was like, what happened? You look at your mouth, So I said nothing, but what happened? In my mind, I said, I'm going to get him. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to get him. But a long story short, in the karate, It gave you, I got a lot of heart, went through a lot of bumps and stuff. So um, my instructor, before I get to my instructor, I talk about Vincent later on. My instructor had leukemia, Buster. So I think at the age of 9, I think I did Shotokan for about 2 years. He met with Doc, asked Doc, and explained to him what was taking place with him. I have leukemia, and I want to know if you would take him on. So Doc was like, okay. So Doc took me, but a long story short, Vincent, I think when I met my brown, Vincent and I got to spar, but I was a little older. That was the best time of my life, boy. I was Tony. I enjoyed that. That was like how one of the big meals and you get a good belch out of it. That's what that fight was like. He couldn't touch me no more, but payback was rough. But anyway, before Buster had passed, he told me in my mind, you could take Doc. So whatever you could take him. So I'm like, my little brain. I'm young. We work it out. I got a little older, and Doc was like, he tests you and see what kind of hard you got. He work with you, and you know how you and I always work. When we used to attack Doc, we attack him. I tried to take his head off, and that's what he enjoyed because we really worked it hard. So me and Doc working out, he got me in a headlock supposedly. So my brain flashback, you could take him. Tony, I slipped out. I got out real good, smooth like. And then I felt something warm coming down my face. He bust my nose so bad, but ever since then I became a smart Bushido. Every time I stayed locked, tap out. But the training was intense for me. My training was like, it was a lot of inner thing that I had to do for me. There's a lot of things I had to sort of bypass because of what I went through, with the alcohol.
Yes.
Brothers with the drugs out, all of that was in there. So, and my fighting, that comes out. People say you be fighting and smiling. I don't know, but I know I be busting people up. I be having a good time, but I don't see that. But it's in there. So for release for me, not being a drug addict, not being an alcoholic, God was good, put me into the martial arts. So the martial art was my cup of tea. So in my training, a lot of that was embedded, a lot of the creativity, a lot of the fighting. We all from the dojo had heart. I mean, you put a bear or tiger, we'll fight. That's the kind of warrior we are. It's not no punk on the side of the wood, but in our training, how we came about with different people, going to different dojos. Our school with Doc, Professor V had the bookstore. Remember across the street on Atlantic Avenue?
Yes, sir.
And he used to take time to close up the shop and come by, bust us up, and then go back and read his books. Remember how he used to do? So yes, Professor B, Doc, and I don't know if you remember, one time we was working out. We were all sitting around. Doc was working with Professor V. Professor V hit Mo. He hit Doc, and his eyes rolled back. You know how somebody about to pass out? We wasn't laughing. We was more shocked. So when he regrouped and seen our face, like, he thought we was probably laughing. I don't know what he's doing, but he bust everybody up after that. I was like, we didn't do nothing, But he said, but it was like our training. When you come into the dojo, the way we work, if anybody know, you might write on. So, and I'll tell about how you and I met too later on. But what happens after the class, Doc train us, we work, and we work some hours. I mean, there's no 2 hours. Sometimes we work 6 in the morning, 12 at night, but we be training. You don't get training like that no more. It's just like people do 45 minutes, that's it.
Yes, sir.
Collect your money and go. The Bushido part of the warrior training is, I stay old school. I'm going to continue, and I know you got no choice to stay old school because I'm going to stay on you like macaroni and cheese, so nothing changes,
Right.
But back in our era, a different place, a lot of people don't know about Macon Junior High School 258. They say they do, but I've been around. Thank God, still keeping me. I know who's in, who's out, what rank was this, what rank was that. But the thing with politics is so poison. I'll put on a white belt quick. I have no problem with that. It's not the belt. It's what's here, and if you set right, and that's why I tell people with rank, don't rush rank. Let it come, earn it. Feel comfortable. If you put something on your waist, somebody come from Japan, they don't do techniques, they fight. I like to spar with you. and you just do techniques. Can you come down to the dojo? I got somebody. Who you gonna call? You better be able to back up what you got on your waist. Otherwise, if you don't have that together, that's what happens a lot. But long story short, when you and I first met, that was back in 1842. But what happened, Oliver, I'm stretching nice. I'm doing a good stretch out, relax. I see you in the mirror. I'm like, okay. But Oliver came over to you. I shouldn't have did what, I was like, is he crazy? He asked you, he said, Jim, can we move around? So I'm looking in the mirror, I'm stretching. I'm like, okay, but Oliver must have something I don't know about. He had something. Tony kicked him. He flew into the mirror, passed me. I was stretching. I was like, he slid down. So I was like, okay. Jim looking at me. I said, okay, Oliver, you all right, man? I said, get up. Let me show you something. And then you and I got together. Tony was like, oh, boy. He said,
yeah, you looked at me and said, show me what you did. I said, oh, this is not fair.
But what happened with that, with our communication and our relationship is always like this here. They say a Bushido, true warriors. That's what we are. And our relationship and love will always be. I died for you, I know vice versa. But you don't get that bound. You don't get that with people could say as a dojo brother. You get people today with rank. I look at people 8th, 9th degree, that's cute. That's cute. So you at a high level. You at an early age at a high level. So my thing is to you, let me take you out here to the beach, Siesta Key Beach. I'm going to take you with a boardwalk where the water's deep. And if you walk across the water, on top of the water without sinking, I'm going to join your dojo. You got something I don't know, but I tell people, give yourself time to grow. Your age, my age, we came up, but we see how we stay positive and stuff. Professor V trained us. Dr. Moses Power trained us. Are we fulfilling what we was taught, or are we going onto another planet? So whatever you see your work, you see my work, we represent Doc, we represent Professor V, we represent myself. So people say, you're a jiu-jitsu man. Remember how we used to go to tournaments and we compete? You're a jiu-jitsu man. You're doing a Shotokan Kata. What are you doing, man?
That's right.
You're doing MP, but we put our own flavor to it. When we do you look at some of the kata? I'm going to tell you something on katas. When I first started kata, I thought it was redundant. I mean, you're going to block one way, leave this guy hanging, then you're going to the next guy. What happened to him? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said what we do, when we do the two-man set, they could see the reality. If you slip something, I slip something, you're going to get hurt. So when they look at it, it's like they don't know what the heck they're looking at. They'd be so astonished. They forget that they judge. And it's like, like, watch, judge what it is. So we come out on the end, it's different. Now, if you get most people doing kata and do it with a bunkai, I bet you won't see that sharpness.
Right.
When they buy their stuff, that look, shut up, that's nice. Now do it with a Wookiee. If black belt, why change? Why? Yeah. So what happens, and I tell people when you do kata, that's why what the things that we do with the jiu-jitsu form, with the two-man set, the reality, you could feel it. Lumumba and I, when we first started the two-man set number 1 week, his time in this 1 week. So we're going through the form, and he was supposed to block the nose area, but he missed it. So his nose went clink that way, but he couldn't stop because I was still on him, So when we finished, everything, blood coming down, everything. So I said to him, I said, you know what? I might have to go to the doctor. That's what we do. I'm saying, you can't get mad. I'm gonna hit you if you ain't blocking, the same vice versa. But that's how real our thing is. That's how juicy we keep ours, even today, regardless of our age, regardless of this epidemic, whatever they call it. You're responsible for you. I'm responsible for me. Doc and Professor V embedded enough for us to do what we have to do. You have a certain rank, maintain it. How you do that? Oh, I got nobody to. Yes, you do. If your spirit is right and your mindset, you got somebody to work with. How many times, Jim, when we do the seminars and the people come out to demonstrate, how many times you could sit back and tell who's been working out or who's been training?
Yes, sir.
Look at it. Sometimes you have to, when some of the people come out, you have to do like, and wait till they go, but the thing that I do when we do the seminars, It's like when we have, like when you do it yours, everybody come out. The thing what they do is this: they try to impress the minister. Do what you
Mm.
normally do. If you're
Yes.
doing your regular work, don't try to go floating on the moon now. Do what you normally do. Let it speak for itself, and that's it. But you get some that's going like, I don't know what they be doing, but it's interesting. I leave it like that. I don't take it from them. They doing something. But with you and I, when we see, especially with our family that we have, with this gap going on, we have to sort of structure a communication so that we can see, GM, what are you working on? Soke, what are you working on? Professor Bill, Lamuma, what are you working on? So we coordinate. Are we still on the same wave with Doc, Professor V, what I'm working with? Should be on the same thing. But it's, that's something different. But I think I'm going way off, so I'm not going to talk too long. You talk.
No, you're not going off. I appreciate it. It's
No,
great, and I'm
no
sure
problem.
everybody that's listening right now, they are appreciative of it as well. I
Yeah.
want to take you back again and to those early days, because when you think about it, Doc was born in 1941.
Wow.
Uh, and him being born in 1941 and looking at when you got started in actually the year of my birth, 1958.
Uh-huh.
Doc was only, what was he, about 18 years old. You
Yeah.
see? So now you're looking into that time period where we're in Doc's early years of his even the development
Mhm.
of what he ultimately developed. You
Yeah.
know, so you were a part of that. You walked with him in that time,
Oh, yeah.
and there were no others that had the kind of reputation that you produced, and that's a beautiful thing to say that you came from Dr. Moses Powell. And when you talk about notoriety, you had that. I remember myself when I was just young. I'm in the mosque, as a junior FOI,
Uh-huh.
and I remember in the magazines that they were talking about fights that had gone on, and I was just happy, and said I wanted to really, really get to know and meet all of you. Now, so let me just ask you, as a youth coming through, who were some of the other youth or whether it's youth or in the earlier period of your time that was around during that time? Do you remember any of those that you could call
You,
out?
you had a few. I know Lumumba was one. We had Willie Page. I don't know if you met Skinny Willie. John James. At 258, we had a lot of people that went to the Vietnam War, but they never came back. But
Mm-hmm.
Ed Pugh, a whole bunch of older ones. I remember Ed Pugh. Ed Pugh was in the dojo. He had a gold tooth. He got a gold tooth in his mouth. And we was moving around, Tony. Gee, we were moving around. I kicked him in his mouth, right? But I got the gold tooth. He said, I usually bite toes off, man. You got a good one, but the thing about us, man, we used to have good. I remember one time in Macon Junior High School, 258, we had the ladies upstairs. We training, right? So we have a good workout, and you can hear it from the cage downstairs. So the dude's down there cussing like a gypsy bandit. Mother, Mo, Doc, look, stop and look. So we working out. So he says to me, he said, go down and ask stop the guy from cussing. So I said, okay. So I go downstairs, and my man's just, I said, yo, man, listen, we got ladies upstairs, and, can you just stop the cussing? Yo, man, F you. So I hit him, Tony, flying. Went flying across the floor. So I go back upstairs. Doc said, what did you do? I said, you're not cussing no more. I said, I can't send you to do nothing. we had some rough times, boy. I said, man. I remember in Brooklyn, we had another incident. Mo went out. We was up on the second floor, the third floor. Me, Big O, I think Hudson was working out. So we doing class. Some guy come up. He was like he was high or something. So he's sitting in the chair. And, we let him watch the class. So he I said, listen, man, if you're going to watch the class, you got to, be quiet, you can watch. Yeah. So he kept going on. So me and Hudson, we looking at each other. And it's like, okay. We picked this sucker up and we threw him down the stairs. Mo was coming up. Mo sidestepped while the guy was going down. What's wrong with you? I got so many stories we could tell, but a lot of the ones on Atlantic Avenue, which to be with Louis Delgado, Hector, and Soundview Projects. We had a lot of different people that was affiliated with us, But when I go up to Soundview Projects, working out with Louis and Hector, we had some good workout. We're going to fight. So Louis used to tell Hector, if I don't get him this time, you get him. So, but I used to bust both of them up. But Louis went to study with Peter Irvin. We moved around. He caught me with a beautiful spinning back kick. Wow. Mo had to get me off him. I tried to kill Louis. But the thing about the fight is that we don't have an attitude. We don't carry with it. You get busted up, But the growth with Doc, and I never looked at our age. I never realized that. I looked at him as a father image. You don't think about age,
Yeah.
Professor V, I look at him as, these are our seniors, and I'm thinking more maybe 20 years or whatever. I didn't know we was that close in age till later on. So I was like, I never look at the age. But the thing with us, and you've been there too, on Atlantic Avenue, we have a big class. Doc we train 3 or 4 hours. And then when Doc gets ready to go, you see a crew follow behind him. And then the other crew stay behind. Remember that time we used to do the sparring in the dog blindfold? You can hear the breathing. Anything breathing, you hit it. Remember?
Yes, yes sir.
Well, somebody hit in the corner. I think we didn't turn the lights on. But those days, man, it's like you enjoy it. It's not like that no more. Today, even down here in Florida, when I'm teaching, people looking at the clock, I'm like, what am I missing? 3-hour training is light stuff for us. So I say, yeah, man, let me ask you something. What are you looking at? What am I missing? Tell me what's happening. Oh, no, we're just watching an hour. I said, what about an hour? You're kidding? You're the 45 minutes, and I'm like, I could teach 4 classes in one day. An hour here, hour there. They don't train the same. They don't, and like if you hit, especially here, hit somebody. They say, this is my lawyer's number. He'll be calling you.
Yes, sir.
You can't. So you have to change. But that's why I said with belts, people come to you. GM, how long would it take for me to get my black belt? Some schools say, okay, I'll give you a year, but it's going to cost you $2,500. Pay me the $2,500, and the average person would kill that sucker. You know what I'm saying? You're going to pay, but I tell people, don't just train. Don't look for belts. Your belt testing time. Like the old days, go to 116th Street now, Lenox. Go in areas where that you really want to be tested. I say, okay, I tell you what, you're going for your yellow belt. I'm gonna be back in 5 minutes. If you're still here, we're talking. But today, training, like I said, on the real side, I think about the past for me. How the training and the martial saved me in terms of spiritually, mentally, physically. The discipline is there. The spiritual growth is there where that, the create thing. People look at you and me, and this is what they do. When you teach a class, you get the video. They try to suck up everything you do. They take pictures, but they don't know. It's on and on. There's no end in what we do. You know what I'm saying? So you can video they want, and people now, you look at some of the styles. You have a Goju, you have a Shotokan, you have Aikido. People doing combination now. They doing Goju Jiu-Jitsu.
That's right.
But now you know why? Because it's a limit. There's a limit to sometimes of what they have. I gotta try to do something different. We used to do the Shotokan karate with the twins, Melvin and Calvin. Remember them, right? The Wilder brothers. Remember Thomas the Puppet? They always used to come down to the dojo. We used to have a lot of people. Ronnie, Duncan. I remember one time I tell you the story. Duncan and Doc sitting in the office. Yes, Moses. How Duncan. So I'm laughing. And Duncan's knife slips out of his pocket and falls on the floor.
It's
Moses
like,
says, Duncan, pick up your knife. I laughed so hard. I told you, I was like, man, But on the real side, like for the marshal, for people that's listening too, is
yes,
that you have to really take care of yourself. Eat right. Always keep God first. That's always a eat right, exercise. Check yourself out. If you got nobody to check you, I could put my camera on and say, okay, I'm going to work out. Go through what I'm going to go through. Then run it back and look at it. And I look at myself and say, so now I got to sharpen me up. So until I feel comfortable and I look like I should look, I feel good. What am I doing? Preparing for myself in the street. Okay, with this race that's going on, with the different epidemic going on, you don't know what's going to happen. If your program is a thought, not reality, you're going to have a problem. Somebody
yes.
walk up and pop you in your mouth. You're going to say, ain't no timeout. Ain't no timeouts. When he's laying out, then you say, okay, timeout. But see what you have. If you have nobody to work out with, work by yourself. Get something to work on, but keep your training going. It's very important. It's not the end. Okay, this is now. Let's say for me, I say this. Oh, this is going on. Let me throw my belt away. No more training for me.
Mm.
I become a couch potato now. Somebody breaking my house. Hold on a minute. Let me get my notes. Let me see how I'm going to kill you. No, anyway, but you have to maintain your training. You're responsible for you. GM is having classes, and I appreciate that. He's having classes on Zoom. Okay, people look at Zoom, but he's not touching me. I can't feel what he's doing. That's not the point. He's preparing your mind for things that you can do. He's preparing your mind in reality. What if? How would you respond to that? So by programming, by working on, when we come on, we see you. We're not just leaving you hanging. We're not just saying, okay, do this here. Next time we come, okay, do that. No, we structuring you. That don't look right. That's not going to work. So we're still teaching you, but you have to feel it within what we're giving you. And if you don't feel that, wasting GM time and my time. We tell you, we give it to you the way that we would do it ourselves personally. Does it work? I promise you it does. Have I had incidents in the street, knife, guns, put ice? It works. It works very well. The average person cannot take a punch. When you hit the average, I'll give you a quick synopsis. I had one time my car double parked, and the guy was jumping in my car. So I'm watching him. I guess he had a truck. So I'm like, I told you, so I roll up on him. I said, yo, man, what are you doing? Oh, this car shouldn't be here. I said, but that's my car. So he made a move, man. So I hit him, bop. Right? He's still on the ground. He's shaking like this on the ground. So I stepped over him. I got my car and left. But that person cannot take his. But you're training. You're training. You got to keep it real. A knife, a gun. What? How prepared are you? How
That's
set
right.
are you really set? Because you think you prepare for a war before a war. You don't wait to try to prepare. If you're not training right, if somebody punched you in your stomach real hard now, what would be your conversation? Throw up on them, or would you say you shouldn't have did that?
Mm.
Which,
Good.
so these type of things you got. Can you take a hit?
That's
So
right.
sometimes what we used to do in the dojo, we thump. When I say we thump, we didn't have too much gloves. We had a little rap, and we got down. When you got home, you could lay down your ribs saying, yo, Harry, something's not right on this side. Yo, George, something's wrong on this side. Your body's going to be talking to you, and you can hear it because you can feel it as well. So that means there's some good training, So like a lot of the dojos, money is good, but I'd rather for a person to learn something and come back to me and say, GM or Soke, this guy tried to attack me, but I heard his leg pop loud, so I just kept going. That's
Mm.
nice. He come back and tell us versus we come and see him in the hospital talking about, I say, yo, that's the block you left off because you blocked wrong. Look at you. So the training, the workout, you have to take it serious. If you don't have nobody supposedly to work with you, take advantage. And I'm gonna share this with you. It's not so much the money, it's the value. The value what you're getting from myself, from GM, is not a paper bag. We've been out there. We're giving you something that money can't pay for if it's something we're teaching you to save your life. So the things that we work on and we tell people, I watch a lot of them working out, and I'm like, okay, did you feel what you just did? It looks nice, and some people punch him. Is he moving so fast? No. How real and how can you apply that if reality happened? Where are you at with that? How's your confidence? What kind of heart you got? All of that's important, you know.
So
But I'm taking too long. Huh?
no. Let me ask you this, okay? Now this is all good stuff. Let me Okay, you're on one side of the table, and you have a black belt on the other side of the table. All right, and you know the what is the conversation that you want to have with the black belt, who you know perhaps he's every now and then he will do something. He'll go to a tournament. Maybe he'll participate in some aspect, but what should he be doing, and what kind of conversation or what type of conversation would you have with that black belt?
Well, one conversation would be when I have the conversation would be this: I would have a bucket of bleach. Yeah. Okay. So in that conversation, this is what should be doing. Like if you're promoting students, they move the rank, they get lax, and you can see where they linking or falling off. I would say, bring your belt with you when we have the conversation, or take your belt off. I would take it, drop it into the bleach, and let it do its number for that. And then I explain to him why I drop it into the bleach, because he wasn't representing me or you right. And in terms of the workout, when I see them when they partake with their training, it's like you haven't really been practicing. You haven't really applied what a black belt is supposed to be about. So by the time we finish the conversation, I'll pull the belt out, the bleach, it'll be white, of course, and I give it back to them and let them wear that out. But if they really training, I applaud them, I motivate them, and I tell them what they need to work on. This is what you need to do. That's why a lot of times when you and I train, we could see who's been doing what from what. That's why a lot of the times after they do the seminar, I go to the side. I don't make an announcement if one of our students working out and they doing a demo and they look like garbage. I'm like, what are you doing? Out in front of people. Why are you doing? Nah, that's not what we do. That's not what we do. I'll take them to the side and say, listen, I'm going to give you 1 month to tighten this up, and then we go from that. So that's the way we do. We keep it where that they won't feel uncomfortable, but they won't feel comfortable because we give them a negative feedback. The negative feedback, they have to change that into a positive feedback. I ask you to do something, tighten it up, show me, and then we could go from that. But just to have it, and that's what we're going to work on too. I'll tell you more about that, is that like when you go for your license don't stay that way forever. You have to renew it.
That's right.
So the same principle in the martial. You got your 7th, 8th degree now. You're on the moon. You don't need to renew. Yes, you do need to renew. You need to be tested, come down, see what you have, where we at, what, you know what I'm saying? They need to keep that polish. It's like a table getting dusty and you leave it. It accumulates dust. But when you polish on it, yep, that looks good. That's what we want to polish them up, So a lot of that with the training, with people mindset and now is like, don't get depressed. Don't get depressed with taking pay. Don't stop your training. Continue your training. You, again, are responsible for you. When you and I see, even on the Zoom, when you and I see them and they doing something, listen, what I saw you on Zoom, you're not training. You're not maintaining. But it's not nothing to make them feel bad. But if you're going to say, okay, Soke, I just quit totally. I'll try to convince you the best that I can. And then I say, you made a good decision. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Our thing is to keep them motivated. So, keep them on cue. Say what they do, they look at me and you. They look at Shabazz. They look at Professor Bill. They look at those that's maintaining. So we like a link for them. Say even at the age got nothing to do with it. You could be 99 and 4/4 and still doing what you have to do. So people admire that. So when they look at you and I and the others that's under us, that's training with us, they say like Professor Cross, and they look and they say, wow. I saw Professor Cross the other day. He was doing something in the chair. You know how he raised up in the chair?
Yes.
And hold the L out?
Yes.
So I gave him a call. I said, watch me. So I stuck one leg out and hold onto the chair. I did a L. But just the conditioning, we are responsible for us. So if it's something that I'm doing or something I'm not comfortable with in terms of workout, GM, listen, I'm trying to work on acts. People got such ego. You know what I'm saying, GM?
Yes, sir.
They have such ego till they lose the whole function. And that's why I said every time they look at you, they look at me or anybody that's affiliated with Doc, You don't have to have a patch on. It should speak for itself.
That's right.
Doc used to Doc used to throw us. Remember Jim? He do the half hip throw. He slammed me to the board. You remember that? you don't get a chance to key out it. That's what you get. Whoa, you know.
That's right. That's right. That's
Our
right.
falling, our timing, our weapon work, the different things that we're working on. People not consistent. They're not consistent. You know, if you pop a knife out, you better be comfortable in popping it out. Or if you take a knife from someone and you got 2 or 3 people, you better be comfortable in your movement. So that's why I say, even when we do on the Zoom, people do technique up, come back, up. That ain't reality. You up, keep your circle going. Keep that circle going. So you get used to fighting in a circle and people around you. You don't just go, the technique is good. Okay. So now when you say, give me 20 techniques, any 20 techniques, watch what they do. You shouldn't have to do that. We see what are you looking up for?
What you look at?
Techniques, because you have it embedded, so you do it. You know, but everybody don't maintain that. So in a street fight, your mind better be set. You might do shoot 1, 2, and 3 on one person. I don't care, as long as it works.
That's right.
Between that, but the training, people could answer their own question. Am I training right? Is my spirit right from what I'm into? I'm a 3rd or 4th degree black belt. I mean, you know, look at the belts. You got people 5th degree black belt in their 20s. You know what I'm saying, Gia?
Yes, sir.
So where's that coming from? You know, I'm like, you know, my thing with belts, I'll be honest with you, I hate belts. I hate belts. You know how Doc used to do with us? Shut up, line up, you tested. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get them. You know how we do. You know, he want to see you. He want to see your heart. You know, bleeding, whatever. What kind of heart you got? You know, so, but you don't see that no more. You know, so people, if it's I'm use me for example. I don't put nobody on the spot. If I'm training and I have a schedule for myself, I put myself on a schedule. Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I got this work. Such and such a day, I got my stick knife work. I have a schedule. I have to stick to that. That's my responsibility. But now I get to a point, I train once a week. I exercise once a week. Who are you fooling?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sincerely is like when you're training, train like it's your life is involved. Train like it's like someone's trying to kill you. Train like it's that where when I do what I have to do, I'm gonna hurt you. So this is my mindset. And so when it happens, it's on. I ain't got to program myself. It's on. It's like, good. I'm in it. Wow, hey, wow, yeah. You know what I mean? So, but people don't do that. You know, they sit back and it's like, let me take a chill pill. No, you got time for no chill pill. Especially now. They have some things going on. I treat everybody perfect. White, black, pink, orange, whatever color you are. As long as you respect me, I respect you. God, Doc taught us, and it's all mentioned, fear no man. The only person that fears God. Other than that, you're immaterial, man. You know what I'm saying? So in your training, your mind setting, you really got to get on cue, man. You got to maintain this. It's like 24/7. I started when I was 8 or 9, and I'm that age now. So I ain't gonna tell you. What age you are? So I was blessed to make 71, man. Blessed to make 71.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
It's still hitting hard, you know. But
yes,
I'm just saying, and the sincerity for people that's in the martial arts, they got to maintain that stupidity where that I'm jealous of Jim. I don't want to deal with Jim. And, you know, they say that eye to eye, heart to heart. And I said this before. If anybody have a problem, the old school, anybody have a problem, I don't need Channel 7 News, CBS News. I don't need nobody. I'll come to your door. I'll meet with you or whoever it is. And we could do the eye to eye, heart to heart talk in reality. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're not set or ready for that, learn to be humble, man. A lot of things you don't have. So reach out. I don't have no problem. If I don't know much and GM got to go in real high, no, it's no problem. GM, listen, I need some help with such a, You think he's going to tell me, no, man, I'm not. No, that's what a lot of you might do. But he said, listen, brother, this is what we could do. We could get on Zoom or we could set up something. I'll work with you. You think he's going to go, hey, guess who I'm working with? No, we don't do that.
No,
If you're
sir.
in my training, I'll work with you. I help you. I help structure. You ain't got to tell people I'm working with you, but they will see a difference in you. They'll see because I beat you straight. I mean, I make you right, but I'll put you on the right track. The way that I'm looking for, but to have what you need, and someone to have a little more. I don't know that much. It's just that I've been blessed with what I have, what Doc had embedded in us, Professor B embedded to us, and I maintain that. So now it's at a peak now here. Okay, Professor V and Doc, we here. No, they don't look for you to stay here. It's your responsibility to itch that up. You got to do that. Should have enough foundation to do what you need to do. But that you have to put in. What you put into it is what you're going to get out. But a lot of that with the training. And GM, this is excellent what you're doing, because while we still physically here, okay, spiritually, one day we're all going to step off. But while we're still here and have the juice that we have with each other, they should take advantage of that. That's why I said when you do the Zoom class, to see so little people on, to see your black belts that you have, my black belts that I have, they should be on there 24/7 training, man. They should be on there like, well, I need this. Now what happens is this is bad, that people get ranked. And when they get ranked, their head gets swelled. Mm-hmm. So they get hit so swelled till they can't see what they're doing to themselves. So when we see them and we hit them a certain way, I think it might be a reality hit sometime, it's needed. And the communication is like, and I look at this here. When something happened, like when Doc, Professor V, Doc, good, man, all that artificial stuff, man. But now they climb with rank now. I know who from where, what, as well, too. We know everybody that came through Sinukas, and still, you know what I'm saying? We know the order that it's supposed to be and will be, and with Doc and Professor V, So now you look at it. Professor V, Dr. Powers, myself, GM. Okay, this is the system, the way we have it set. Then we have other people to come down. You know what I'm saying? So people mind is like, Doc never had a number one student. Okay, that's okay. So if I say that I'm Doc's number one student, and it's a question that you're not sure, Soke, I don't think you Docs. I'll pay my way to come to see you, and then we have a conversation there, and then you will tell me what the story is. I leave it like that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing with us is this. We try to share our spirit with other instructors and people. They have an ego that they're better than you. They're better than I, which it affects them, their growth, because they're not opening their mind. If it's something GM could show me, Soke, I've been working on this here. I love it. So let's add this to it. So now we got something where we're growing. Not that GM, I look at GM when you come, I'm like, oh boy, here you go again. No. That's not what we want. That's not a good Bushido. That's not the spirit of a warrior. So a warrior is open. My mind is open. Any style, Kung Fu, Tai Chi. We adapt to it because we have that gift. We are able to do, when you go to tournaments, people can't judge Kung Fu people. Oh, that looks so soft. That's not the point. Look at the Waza. When we do our form, you do the jiu-jitsu form, they think we're drunk. They like, he roll it out, doing this, and they don't know. They're like, what is he doing? Because they're not adapt to what we do. So that's why I said, when we do the two-man set, you could see the exchange. It's like, if this guy slipped that, he's going to get hurt, So that's different. But when we just do basic, you're a karate man or a kung fu man at a black belt or a second or third degree level, you should be able to adopt and judge any form that comes out with no problem, no prejudice. I don't like kung fu, so I'm going to give him a little score. You can't do that. A jiu-jitsu man. This guy, all he's doing, rollouts and doing his legs and sweeping and stomping. You don't understand what we're doing. He's sticking his thumb into the ground. That's the eye, fool. They don't know. But I'm just saying, what our work, how we express what we're doing is different. That's why I said the prejudice between katas, taekwondo, It's a lot that you and I anyway, and others instructors could judge and give a decent score because we could feel it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir.
but getting back to the other people that's listening, from the underbelts to the upper ranks, if they're listening, do not rush for a belt. A belt is just, some people say a black belt is good to hold your pants up. That's cute. But in reality, if you're training, like with Doc, like I was saying with Doc, we used to go to, I used to hate when he said, all right, you're moving for the test. I was like, Doc, I don't want to move for belt. All I want to do is fight and work techniques. That's all we do. That's why I said before in Atlantic Avenue, you have a crew that goes out with Doc, and the one that stay behind, they know what time it is. We used to fight. We used to do some. We have some good times. And when you go out, you're gonna go out sore, bloody nose. But not the point about bloody nose. The thing is that if you get popped in your mouth, I can't fault Jim for punching me in my mouth. That's my fault. I think I know how to block. So when he hits me, and I'm up in my mouth, I'm gonna say that's a good one, man. That's a real good one. I'm gonna try to get him back. You know, I'm coming back. But that
Right.
sharpens up your fighting. We didn't get no attitude. It's just my responsibility, my growth, my training. Even today, when I work and I go, I still have students that come by periodically. I look at what I'm doing, what I'm working on. Because in a street fight, and I look at some of the street fights, they throw them haymakers, and all they want to do is get to that computer. If they make contact to the computer, it's gonna go blink, supposedly. But knowing how to set that, give them that little big apple, let them look at the computer. By the time you shoot something, you disappear. You're looking at them another way. It's like, oh boy, it's on now, you know. So your training, you can answer your own question. Where are you? What conditioning? How's your spirit? How's your work on? Are you maintaining what you have on your waist? Simple as that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Awesome.
taking too long.
No, you're not taking too long. You're giving, and I appreciate just the opportunity to have you share what you have shared, and I'm just again at awe, and I appreciate you in what you've given. And so everyone out there, I want you to understand that we just walked with a master. Soke, Little John Davis, a tremendous icon in the art, a student of Dr. Moses Powell, and a student of this art himself. So, without any further delay, we're going to come to you next week. In fact, what we're gonna bring on Grandmaster Bill McLeod. He is on his way, and you should be looking to hear from him. This is not the last time you're going to hear from Soke, Little John Davis, but I want you to know that Grandmaster Bill, is going to be coming on, sharing his life, his time with you, and how he walked with a master, Dr. Moses Powell. Love you all. Enjoy, and I want to also direct you and let you know that we have a YouTube channel, the official Grandmaster Anthony Muhammad channel. So we're going to be really picking that up. Now, just to let you know, I've said Grandmaster Anthony Muhammad, and I say that only because I have established a history of people who know me in that way. I have had the beauty and the pleasantry and the blessing of receiving a name from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and that name is Abdul Azziz Muhammad. And so I want you to know that this is Grandmaster Anthony Muhammad, now known as Grandmaster Abdul Aziz Muhammad. Just want to let you know that. Thank you very much. May God continue to bless you and keep you punching, kicking, but mostly thinking. Us.
trunk slam. Popping them straps off final call. Tossing giants out of sacred land. Stretch them out like China wall. Satan know that we 100. Joshua with no riffraff. Along on open that Red Sea. So Elijah floated up in Ave. In D.C. I'm Salaudin. Swinging sword in Jerusalem. Walking heavy in Jericho. Enemy, he not used to them. Mama Mia, no Jahiliya, just holy war. We killing this. Cold feet on that battlefield. Gon' get you left in that wilderness.
10 toes down. I plant my flag in the ground. Call my soldiers to Jerusalem. We bout to take the town. Farrakhan is Elijah, minister and Messiah. I suggest you give it up before we set it on fire.